Hi everyone, this is Susie again, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my recipe for vegan chilaquiles in a tomato cream sauce. And these are the ingredients we'll be using. It's some tostadas, tomato, onion, garlic, sour cream, and chile de árbol. Okay, and we're going to serve that with some refried beans and some bread, whether you like a French baguette or any type of bread that you like. We even eat it with just like the Ezequiel bread that you use for like sandwiches, because that's what we can get that is vegan. So that'll be good, whatever you guys decide. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I have some tostadas that I baked in the oven for about 30 minutes. And what you do is you put your oven at 350, put in your tortillas, just like that, and you let them bake for like about 25 to 30 minutes according to your oven. And then after they're done, I take them out, and then I just start cracking them here in my pan. And that's what you're going to do. You're just going to break these into small pieces. And I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so I have 5 tortillas in here, or tostadas. And then now I am going to add a tiny bit of oil. Just like maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon or so. You don't need that much oil. And then what I'm going to do is I am just going to cook this for a little bit, just so that they can start browning with the oil. They start getting a little crispy. And I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, so this is what they look like with a tiny bit of oil. You don't need that much. You could probably do it even without oil. I've never done it, to be honest with you, without any oil, but you can probably give it a try. So that way you don't even need to, you can just skip this step probably. You just put the sauce in, cook it, and then add the crispy tortillas or your homemade tostadas at the end. And I'm sure that it'll taste really good as well. But this is just to coat the tortillas. All you want to do is coat the tortillas in a tiny bit of oil. You could have probably even done less than what I did. And then you just want them to start to like get crispy, like a little bit fried in the oil. They start to change color a little bit, get a little bit darker than what they already are. And then when that is done, I'll be back. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, and I'm just going to turn it off, and this is what they should look like, okay? You'll start to smell the oil. They start to burn. Well, not burn, but you know, that fried smell. So, and then you know that they're ready, okay? And then I turn it off. Okay, I transferred them over to a plate, and you do have to constantly stir these up because it will burn because of the oil, okay? So, like I said, it only takes about 5 minutes, and they're done. Okay, so now we're going to make the sauce, and I just have 2 cups of chopped tomatoes and about 1/4 of a cup of white onion and a couple of cloves of garlic and some sour cream. It looks like that because it froze, so I had to like scrape it off. But it's the Tofu sour cream. If you don't use or have Tofu sour cream, you can just use like soaked cashews or something like that, and I've done that with soaked cashews as well, or any type of homemade sour cream that you have. So this is about like a tablespoon or so. And then also we are going to add some chile. This is the hot sauce that I make, the one that I have the recipe for the picante or chile bruto. And what I do is, since I always have this on hand, I just put like a little bit of that, like a teaspoon or so of it. If you don't have that, of course, you can always use a couple of these, the chile de árbol. And what you do is you can either just throw them like that, like just take 2 and throw them in the blender, or you can take how many chiles you want, you put them in the same pan where you did your tostadas. And before you put the tostadas, you put a little bit of the oil, you roast them there, or you can dry roast your chiles, and then put those in the blender. You can do that, and then do your tostadas in the same oil. So it's up to you. So you have a couple of options, okay? And now we are going to blend this up. If the tomatoes are not juicy enough, you can just add a little tiny bit of water. Oh, and then we're going to add some salt and pepper. I almost forgot. So just salt according to your taste, as much as you want. And some freshly ground pepper. And I'm going to blend this up and I'll meet you back. Okay, so now we are going to cook our sauce. We turn the heat back on in the same pan. We are going to put in our creamy tomato chilaquiles sauce. It's really good. It's really garlicky, but you don't have to do that much garlic. You can adjust it to your liking. Same with the spice. And it yields about a little less than 2 cups for those 5 tostadas that we did. And this just depends on how saucy you like them. If you like your chilaquiles a little bit more saucy, then you just do a greater amount of the sauce. Okay? And now we're going to cook that for maybe about 5 to 7 minutes. And now I'm going to cover that up so that it cooks quickly. Okay, so while the sauce is cooking, I'm going to do my beans. And I just had a dry pan. I just turned on the heat and I added my homemade pinto beans. And we're just going to wait for those to start bubbling up, and then we're going to just mash them. And I don't put any oil in these, so but you can add oil, of course, if you want. You can add a little bit of oil before you add your pinto beans, and then once they are bubbling up, then you can mash them up, okay? So it's been about 3 minutes, and the sauce is starting to bubble up. I like to cover it because if not, the tomato sauce will start splashing all over the place. And what you can do is you can just like take your spoon and give it a little stir once in a while, and it'll start to change color. You will start seeing when it starts to change color, that means the tomato is cooked. And then we'll add our tortillas, okay? Okay, so now that our beans are ready, now we're going to mash them. And usually at this point, I just turn off the heat and then I mash them. And you just mash away until they are to your liking, okay? As mashed as you like them. And I'll be right back. Okay, the sauce cooked for exactly 7 minutes, and now I turned it off. And now what you do is you just take your tortillas and you throw them in there. And you give it a really good stir. Oh man, that looks yummy. And the other thing is that I'm making this for dinner. This is originally a breakfast meal, but we eat it for dinner all the time. And then also the other thing that you can do is to top it off when you plate it. You can add some of the vegan queso fresco that I have the recipe for as well. And you can top it off with the vegan queso fresco or a little bit more sour cream, whatever you like, okay? And now I'm going to cover this up, and now we're going to plate it all up. Okay, and here are the vegan creamy red chilaquiles. And there are the refried beans, and you can eat it. We usually eat it with like some bread or even some of the Ezequiel bread. You just toast it and you just have it like toast. If you make your own bread, or can get your hands on some nice vegan rustic bread or something, then it's really good with the bread. So, or you can just eat it like that. So I hope you guys give it a try and enjoy it. It is so good. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys enjoy it, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.